Hello, welcome back to 3D Drawn for Your Model Railway. Last lesson we created the cab here for the stabling wagon, and today what we're going to do is start adding some of the details like the doors and the windows. Before I get started on that, one thing that I'm going to do is actually split the body in half, because a lot of the wagon is symmetrical. So we can split this so the doors are the same, windows are the same, headlights, things like that, so there's no point doing them twice. But we did need to create the full body to be able to get the shell on the inside and have the bit missing on the inside correctly. So it's not a massive job. So we'll just do split body. We've already selected the body as the cab, and the plane, we're going to use the mid plane of the wagon. Then I'm just going to remove, not delete, body 2. And now we've only got the half of the cab to work on. Okay, so we can spin this round. And the first thing I'm going to be creating is the door on the side. So the first thing I'm going to attack with the door is the top runner rail here. And that's just going to be a small rectangle basically that runs along the top edge of the side of the wagon there. So create a sketch on the side profile. Again, just make sure your radio button's checked on the cab before you start any of this. And then creating a rectangle. I am going to snap it to that corner and drag it across. So the length of this, again I've got to do a bit of maths. So we've got 31 plus 33.5 plus 1.15. So 66.5 inches across. So back into here, dimension that as 66.65 inches. Divided by 1.48. Just check that looks about right there distance wise. And I'm just going to go and check with one of the other sketches for the width of this, so we can, sorry, the height of this. Which is going to give us 0.69. If you want to just round that up, you can make that 0.7. And it's protruding, so we can extrude this by 2 inches. Actually, what I'm going to do is make it 2.5 so that we can have like a little recess, so the door's going to be recessed slightly. So 2.5 inches divided by 1.48, 0.43. Okay, so that's that top runner drawn. So the next thing I'm going to draw is there's a door shut here that we're going to draw down. And again, we're going to just create a sketch on the side profile and use the rectangle tool. Don't snap it to the corner because looking at this photo, it's not right in the corner, it's slightly recessed. I'm just going to drag that down. So the width of that, looking at Paul's sketches, is 1.25 inches wide. It doesn't say distance from the top edge. I think, looking at the diagram, it's got this as 12.75 inches. That looks like that's potentially recessed a little bit too much at the top there, though. That's the only issue with that, because that doesn't quite look like this. But it could be that this is slightly too long. I think this bottom measurement is probably more correct than the top one, which is what I'm going to go for. And the height wise, look at this photograph. I know it doesn't really make sense when you can't see the photo that's going with it, but we've got 4 inches from the bottom of the door to the top of the sole bar. So we can dimension from there to there. That's 4 inch. And because this is inside this one, so it's, again, if you look at this picture, it's slightly recessed in. I'm going to select that, extrude, and I'm going to extrude it we're going to come 2 inches. So it's slightly recessed from this one. And what I'm actually going to do is just extrude that one back by 0.3 of the top, so cutting that off the top. Okay, so the next thing is to draw the door itself. So we're going to create a sketch on the side profile, and we're going to use the rectangle tool, snap to the same corner there, and up to the top line. The width of the door is 33.25 inches. And that makes sense because the measurement there is smaller than the door itself on the diagram as well. And then what we'll do is extrude this. We're going to go 2.2 inches divided by 1.8, which will make it slightly bigger than this panel and slightly smaller than the top rail there. So you'll be able to see, hopefully, the door itself and the 2 runners and the shuts there. Okay, and then on this we'll add the window. What we want is to draw on the front of the door, and we're going to put a construction line up the middle. Let's turn that line into construction, and then I can add another rectangle on here. And then midpoint that top line to, I don't want to do that yet because it's snapped down. Let's go for the height on there. It's not, unfortunately. So if we draw that canvas on, we've got the height of the window should be 27.25 inches. That's the overall height, and the width is 22.25 inches. Height isn't unfortunately on the diagrams anywhere. So because I don't have this height, what I'm going to do is change the height to match the same height as the door on the diagram, which is not ideal, but that's what we'll work from. We'll give that a dimension. So from that corner to the top, and we'll give that 1.75 millimeters. And then we'll put the midpoint constraint on that line to the construction line. So why is it not doing that? So it's not wanting to do that. Fine. because it's not going to midpoint that up, what we'll do is we'll just do dimension. The width of that is 3.82. So we do dimension, go from that corner to the construction line. That point to that point. 3.82 divided by 2. That puts it in the middle of the door. We can then extrude this through to the inside of the wagon and cut. Actually, do I want to go? Yes, I want to go back and make these corners rounded. So go back into that diagram, edit the sketch. Obviously, it's going to kick out this dimension here now as soon as we do these fillets. And we'll do 0.5 radius. That looks right. It's probably bigger than that. 0.75. Okay, so now we've got that radius out. It does have a beading around the outside, so we'll create a sketch on the door. And just use the offset tool to go around the outside. And we'll just do 9.5, 0.3. Extrude that, just coming away from the door by 0.1, which makes it sit proud and look like it's got that beading across there. Okay, so that's the door. You could, if you wanted, put this panel line across on the window. If we want to do that, then what we're probably going to best do is go back into this sketch here and put a rectangle. Again, we don't really have a height. It's about the midpoint, really, I would say. So we'll create a rectangle across and put a midpoint constraint on that line to that one, and then give it a thickness between the two. 0.5 millimeters, probably a bit big, 0.4. And when you come back to the extrusion here, what we'll have to do is remove the profiles, select the two top and bottom. Okay, and then this has kicked this out, so we can just edit the sketch. It doesn't really like the radius because it doesn't understand what's gone on. So we can redefine sketch plane, which is what it's not liking, click on that back profile, and then it's fixed that warning. Okay, so we've got the door now drawn. Okay, now we can put the handrails on. So we're going to go back into Fusion, turn off the canvas, and I'm going to do an offset plane from the front edge, so the side edge of the door shut here. So this door shut on the side edge, and I'm going to offset that or bring it to the front of the wagon by 0.3 millimeters. And then create a sketch on that offset plane. Okay, I'm going to use the line tool. In fact, let's first before we do that, project on the profiles of the front edge so that it will snap to it. Use the line tool, and we're going to start just over halfway up the window. That there, I'm going to come out inches, and then we're going to come down, and the height of that is just above the bottom of the door. Okay, so define the height as 9.9. I'm actually going to get rid of that dimension there and dimension it further down, because when we're around these corners often I don't want to kick up a load of warnings while we do it. And then we can just fill it off this top corner. I'm going to round that down 0.5, and we'll do the same on the bottom, 0.5. Finish the sketch. In fact, let me go back into that sketch and dimension the height from the bottom of that line to the bottom of the cab. And we'll go for 1.75 millimeters. So it's 1.75 from the bottom of the cab to the bottom of this handrail, 0.5 radius. Overall height of the handrail is 9.9, and the dimension from the side of the wagon to the outside is 0.9. Then we're going to put a pipe on that line. And we're going to do section size 0.4. Maybe 0.5. So it's half a millimeter. Click on OK. I'm actually wondering whether the width of the door window looks too wide compared to the door. Next thing is we're going to pattern, rectangular pattern, that pipe. Feature, and then pipe, and then axis is horizontal. Two of them. I'm going to come across a millimeter, and I'm going to go back in and change this window because I think I made it smaller. I'm going to make this only 3 millimeters wide, which will then change that to 1.5. And then we'll have to edit that. She's not liking that at all, is it? It's not going to like that. Let's, what we'll have to do is delete that and delete that sketch. Just going to jump that back in history, add a sketch in there on that profile, and then offset. Turn change selection off, we're going to have to offset that. Through. Change selection on, so do the same with this bottom part. -1.3. cancel that. I'm going to add a couple of lines in there and there, so that I'm not extruding that centre part out. So this will still be recessed back in. Okay, so I think that looks a bit better having that handrail and that window set back slightly. Cool, handrails on the cab. And again, I think I'm going to end this video at this point. It's about a 20-minute video now so far. So we've got the door all drawn on. Next video we'll come back and we'll draw some of the windows on the front of the cab. So thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.